Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the life of a man who was part scientist, part mathematician, part engineer, and all genius. We're talking about the one and only Archimedes of Syracuse, the greatest inventor of the ancient world. You've probably heard the story of him yelling Eureka in the bathtub, but there's so much more to his story than just a naked sprint through the streets. So, let's set the scene. We're in the 3rd century BC in the bustling Greek city-state of Syracuse, on the island of Sicily. This was a time of great intellectual curiosity, and Archimedes was right at the center of it all. He wasn't just some backyard tinkerer. He was a brilliant mind who laid the groundwork for modern calculus, physics, and engineering, all without a calculator or a computer. The famous Eureka moment is a perfect place to start. The king of Syracuse, Hiero II, had a problem. He had given a goldsmith a specific amount of gold to make a new crown, but when he got the crown back, he had a sneaking suspicion. It weighed the right amount, but was it pure gold, or had the smith sneakily mixed in some cheaper silver? The king tasked Archimedes with figuring it out without damaging the beautiful crown. Archimedes puzzled over this for days. Then one day, as he stepped into a public bath, he noticed the water level rise and overflow. In that instant, it hit him. He realized that the volume of water displaced was equal to the volume of his body submerged. This was the key. He could measure the crown's volume by submerging it in water. Since gold is much denser than silver, a pure gold crown would displace less water than a mixed metal crown of the same weight. He was so excited by this discovery that he supposedly leaped out of the bath and ran home, shouting, "Eureka! Eureka!" which means "I have found it" in Greek. And yes, the crown was indeed a fake. This discovery led to the formulation of Archimedes' Principle of buoyancy, something every physics student learns today. But Archimedes' genius wasn't just confined to bathtubs. He was a master of levers and pulleys. He famously boasted, "Give me a place to stand, and I shall move the earth." This wasn't just empty bragging. He understood the principle of leverage so well that he could multiply force to move incredibly heavy objects. According to one story, he demonstrated this power by single-handedly launching a fully loaded ship, a task that would normally require a whole team of strong men. He simply designed a complex system of compound pulleys and winches, pulled a rope, and the massive ship slid smoothly into the water. The king was so impressed that he declared Archimedes' inventions were essential for the defense of Syracuse. And that brings us to his role as a military engineer. When the powerful Roman Republic laid siege to his beloved Syracuse, Archimedes, now an old man in his 70s, stepped up to defend his city. The Roman general Marcellus thought it would be an easy victory, but he hadn't counted on the mind of Archimedes. The stories from this period sound like something out of a fantasy novel. Archimedes designed and built an array of incredible war machines. He created giant cranes with grappling hooks, now known as the Claw of Archimedes. These massive claws would extend over the city walls, grab the hulls of Roman ships, lift them clean out of the water, and then either shake them violently until the sailors were thrown off, or just drop them, smashing them against the rocks. Imagine the terror of the Roman soldiers, seeing their ships being plucked from the sea by a giant mechanical monster. He also improved the catapult, making it possible to launch heavy stones over great distances with terrifying accuracy, bombarding the Roman fleet and land forces. His inventions were so effective and so terrifying that the Romans became paranoid. If they saw so much as a piece of rope or a beam of wood appear over the walls of Syracuse, they would turn and flee, crying that Archimedes was about to unleash another one of his machines on them. Then there's the legendary Death Ray. The story goes that Archimedes arranged a series of large mirrors, possibly polished bronze shields, to focus the sun's rays onto the approaching Roman ships, setting them on fire from a distance. For centuries, people have debated whether this was actually possible. Was it a real weapon, or just a legend that grew over time? Modern attempts to replicate it, like on the show Mythbusters, have had mixed results. While it's technically feasible to set something on fire with focused sunlight, doing it on a moving ship from a distance, under battlefield conditions, would have been incredibly difficult. But whether it was real or not, the story itself shows the immense reputation Archimedes had. His enemies believed he was capable of anything. Thanks to his ingenuity, the small city of Syracuse held off the mighty Roman army for 2 long years. It was an astonishing feat. Sadly, the story of Archimedes has a tragic end. In 212 BC, The Romans finally managed to breach the city's defenses through a weak point while the city was celebrating a festival. General Marcellus had given strict orders to capture Archimedes alive. He had immense respect for the old genius and wanted to meet him, but it was not to be. According to the most famous account, a Roman soldier found Archimedes in his study, completely absorbed in a mathematical problem. He was drawing circles and diagrams in the sand on the floor. The soldier ordered him to come along and meet the general. Archimedes, annoyed at the interruption, supposedly waved him away, saying, "Do not disturb my circles." Enraged by this response, the soldier drew his sword and killed the greatest mind of the ancient world. When General Marcellus learned of Archimedes' death, he was deeply saddened and enraged. He had been denied the chance to meet the man whose mind had single-handedly defied the power of Rome. He gave Archimedes a proper burial and even honored his family. Archimedes had requested that his tomb be marked with a sphere inscribed inside a cylinder, representing one of his favorite mathematical discoveries, the relationship between the volume and surface area of these two shapes. And for a long time, that's how his grave was identified. The legacy of Archimedes is simply immense. His work on geometry, like calculating the value of pi with incredible accuracy, was centuries ahead of its time. His book on the method of mechanical theorems shows that he was using concepts that would later become the foundation of integral calculus over 1800 years before Newton and Leibniz. He wrote about hydrostatics, statics, and the principles of the lever, all of which are fundamental to modern physics and engineering. The Archimedes Screw, a device he may have invented or improved, is still used today for irrigation and moving materials. He was a true polymath, a person whose expertise spanned a significant number of different subject areas. He didn't just think, he built. He didn't just theorize, he tested. He applied his brilliant understanding of mathematics and physics to solve real-world problems, whether it was verifying the purity of a king's crown or defending his home from an invading army. His life is a testament to the power of human curiosity and ingenuity. He shows us that with a deep understanding of the world's fundamental principles, one person can indeed change the course of history. So, the next time you see a massive crane lifting a heavy load or learn about buoyancy in a science class, remember the genius from Syracuse, Archimedes. He did it first. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments which historical figure you'd like us to cover next. See you in the next one.